Hello everyone, welcome to a Water Basics tutorial for Card Survival Tropical Island. My name is the Neomare or just Neo, and I was given the honor from hardworking developers of this game to be your guide. This video will cover hydration stat and what affects it, drinking coconut water and controlling your diarrhea, how to capture rainwater, unsafe water and how to make it safe, and finally, how to stop the water from evaporating. Information shown in this video should be enough for you to prosper from start to finish in Card Survival Tropical Island, as long as hydration is concerned. If you're wondering about something not covered, feel free to ask in the comment, I will be happy to answer. Hydration stat and what affects it. Hydration is a measure of liquid stored inside your character's body. Your character can tell that by how thirsty he or she feels. Locate the status bar in the bottom left part of your screen with a water droplet next to it. If it's not visible, that means it is full and you're not thirsty at all. As it empties, it will show up and you will get more and more thirsty and the droplet will pulse harder and harder. If it gets completely empty, your character will die of dehydration. Keeping yourself hydrated and planning your strategy around having enough safe fluids to drink should probably be a top priority at most times. Easiest way to quench your thirst is by introducing liquids into your body. Drinking liquids directly or eating liquid-based meals will do the heavy lifting. Most other foods will help a tiny bit, but not enough to sustain your water needs by themselves. On the other hand, most common way to lose water rapidly is to be hot or very hot for extended periods of time. Refresh yourself with water occasionally to avoid it. At the start of the game, this is easiest by just washing in the sea. Getting diarrhea or catching a fever will rapidly drain the liquids out of your body as well. Do not consume too much coconut products to avoid diarrhea and take good care of your health to avoid the fever. Check out the survival guide or my health basics tutorial for more details how to avoid and handle a fever. Drinking coconut water and controlling your diarrhea. Combine two stones together to make a sharp stone. Use the sharp stone to peel the coconut and make a hole in it. Interact with the coconut to drink the coconut water out of it. As we do it, our hydration bar fills up, but another bar shows up for a moment and disappears. It has a poop symbol next to it, and means bad news for us if it fills up too much. I have eaten a few too many coconuts, and now my poop, or as I also like to call it, the diarrhea meter, warns me about loose stools. As it increases more and more, it will turn into diarrhea and you will start to dehydrate much faster than usual. To avoid diarrhea, stop eating coconut products for a bit until it goes down gradually by itself over time. If diarrhea is already really high, you can eat some charcoal to reduce it, but that comes with problems of its own. How to capture rainwater. Interact with any liquid container during the rain to fill it up with safe rainwater. Early on, you will use coconut husk for the job. Later in the game, you will find and craft containers which stop water from evaporating or even fill up by themselves. Rainwater will also refill unsafe water ponds found in the game, which you can then reuse. Make sure to boil it though before drinking. Unsafe water and how to make it safe. If you explore deep enough towards and into the jungle, you will eventually find sources of unsafe water. There are two ponds in the wetlands and one water source inside the wetlands cave. Wetland ponds have limited water supply but will refresh themselves automatically when the next rain starts. These serve as good early game reservoirs of water. The water source inside Wetland's cave fills up constantly over time, regardless of weather, but at a slower pace. You will need a light source inside the cave to explore, find, and collect it. Campfire will let you do both. Before unsafe water can be safely consumed, it needs to be boiled. Simplest way to do this is by boiling it on a campfire using coconut halves. Once it is boiled, remove it from the heat source and wait for it to cool down before consumption. How to stop the water from evaporating. Water stored inside rudimentary utensils like coconut halves will evaporate over time. And sometimes due to game randomness there can be long periods of time with no rain at all. First rain is guaranteed, but there is no way to know when the second, third, fourth rain and so on will come. Other liquid sources in the game will keep you going for quite a while. Jungle pods hold quite a bit before drying up. Dark Cave constantly refreshes even though it is pretty slow. Coconuts will be happy to serve again, but so will diarrhea. Oh, and you can cut down a banana tree and put a coconut bowl inside it to get water ratio every half a dozen hours or so. But banana trees are limited in quantity and hard to find. And then there is Mangrove, a promised land filled with nipa palms which give the best fluid of them all, the palm wine. Only problem are the monitor lizards, which are the most dangerous thing in the game, in my opinion anyway. Who knows, maybe they want all the wine for themselves. So, unless you want to go back to square one and struggle with hydration every time you get a long dry period, well, invest into some proper water storage. Clay vases are portable, simple and hold quite a lot of water for their cost. You will need to build a kiln first to fire them up. To make kiln and clay vases, first you will need mud. You can dig it up directly from wetland ponds while they have liquid inside. If there is no liquid, you will get dirt instead. You can combine dirt with water to make mud. Salt water is best for this, but you can use fresh water if you have more than you need. Combine mud with temper to make bricks. Most common temper materials are sand, ash and fiber. Sand is probably a most obvious choice since you can dig up tons of it on the beach. Simply interact with mud to make clay. It takes a bit but requires no other resource. Once you make the first brick, you will unlock the kiln. You will need a lot of bricks to make it. You fire it up the same way you do for the campfire. Once you make the first clay, you will unlock the clay vase. You will need free clay and free temper to shape one, and it will need to stay inside the kiln for quite a few hours before it is ready to be used. Once 4 hours passes, you can go to your kiln and get your vases out. Just make sure your kiln has enough fuel before you do it. Vases hold more water than coconut halves, but more importantly, the water does not evaporate from them. Well, in current update anyway. If this ever changes, we will have to make reservoirs to stop water from evaporating, and those are hard to make and locked behind mud huts. But for now, my suggestion is to go ham. Make 5, 10, 15 clay vases, as many as you like to feel comfortable. The more you make and fill up with the rainwater, the more you can ignore hydration issues and focus on other challenges. You will be a lot more resistant to mishaps like fever and wounds, for example. This will conclude the Water Basics tutorial. Some things were only mentioned, but what was directly shown is enough to survive the early game and prosper throughout the whole game of Card Survival Tropical Island. If you want to find out about other important mechanics of the game, you can watch my other tutorials that can be found inside the game manual, in this video's description, or inside the pinned comment. Have fun, thank you all for watching, and enjoy the game. Neomer out.